As thoughts of summer fade away, they're replaced by everything fall. But when raking leaves or cleaning out flower beds, cicada carcasses bring back memories of the summer of the historic cicada emergence. And some scientists in the St. Louis area took the opportunity to study the summer of the 2024 double emergence. They review the evidence and share the discoveries.
Total shock to us. We weren't finding cicadas throughout most of North St. Louis. We weren't finding them in areas of the city that were quite old. And then just to find tons of them in this very new forest. Pruiit Igoe, a housing development that was a sort of notorious project development as a just giant social experiment failure that took place more than 50 years ago. There's been quite a forest that has sort of developed in the area where the project was taken down, and it's filled with cicadas. And it has served as sort of a source population for recolonizing parts of North St. Louis.
This is a surprise because in other parts of North St. Louis City, it was cicada silent.
Especially in these older portions of the city where we would have sort of continual development almost from when the city was founded. So these periodic cicadas have these really long 13-year life cycles. They need to be in a habitat that's not disturbed over those 13 years.
For a better understanding of the history and ecology, the University of Missouri's St. Louis entomologist dived into cicada research.
We were interested in sort of this intersectionality of the history of the development of St. Louis with where cicadas are or are not.
Assistant Professor Sara Miller explains how they conducted their research in a new and creative way. They recruited all willing citizens in the greater St. Louis area to be involved in the project using an app. This would help UMSL researchers who were going out into the communities and green spaces in St. Louis to cover even more ground.
Oh, well, we have this double emergence cicada natural history event, so maybe this is also a way to get people who would otherwise not be as interested or excited about insects. So we managed to get more than 800 observations. I had emails. It's just been really gratifying to see people so excited about insects.
It became quite an accomplishment for cicada mapping.
My colleague Amy Dunlap and myself developed the cicada mapping project. Use your phone and spend 3 minutes looking around and using your eyes and ears to assess the number of cicadas that were there. We use this phone app that records sound intensity, and so we use that as sort of one measure. So when they're really loud, cicadas would make a lot of noise. And then we also asked people to sort of count the number of cicadas that they could see as well, with the hope that, being able to spend 3 minutes would be really quick and easy, and we can get a bunch of people to collect a lot of data. So what were the distribution, and can we say anything about how the development of the St. Louis region interacts? A phenomenon that differed a lot for where you were in the city.
The study showed the importance of green spaces.
Using Lafayette Square Park as an example, there's this giant old park in the center, so kind of served as almost an island or a reservoir for cicadas. What we are finding is that there is probably some sort of socioeconomic component to this.
And in this failed public housing space, grown over from long ago, Miller says the success of cicadas is unexpected and fascinating.
It was such an urbanized environment to sort of find this pocket of habitats in Pruiit Igoe and then grow to such high densities and then start recolonizing the city was a surprise.
But with any possibility of redeveloping the property, the cicada's future is uncertain.
We suspect maybe in 13 years, a lot of that forest, or maybe all of that forest, may be converted to new housing developments. And so what will happen to the cicadas then? Cicadas are not of conservation concern. So they're really great for ecosystems.
Overall, studying cicadas helped with this lab's mission.
It has received less attention, but we are actually in an insect biodiversity crisis at the moment. So insects as a whole are not doing very well. The numbers are declining. We don't really know why. And we are not studying them. They don't receive as much attention. And so the way that cicadas can help us is that they're a way of getting people excited about insects.